Alright, my name is Etienne and this is my Capstone presentation. So the team, I was a manager, Caden was also a manager, Michaela and Vincent were our team members. The percentage of the quota we all met, I got 60%, Caden got 78%, Michaela and Vincent both went over the $350 goal, which was the quota. So they are listed above as higher than 100%. So as a team, we reached 80% of the total quota, which is $1,400, because 350 times 4 is that amount. So some key drivers of success that we found. Cold calls, we found this to be successful. We each got cold call donations, which is something that we were all impressed about because we had never done cold calls collectively as a group. LinkedIn outreach was probably the most successful method that we all used. So connecting with the person on LinkedIn, messaging back and forth, then having a call to action to have a meeting and discuss this. And Facebook posting, so posting the link of the fundraising campaign to our Facebooks also led to donations as well. So here are the graphics. At the bottom, this is the total donations raised after 5 meetings by each individual member, as you can see right here. And then up top, this is the cumulative donations we all got over the 5 meetings, from meeting 1 to the left all the way to meeting 5. It's all color coded, and this aligns with the sales reports that I submitted as well for the class. So the application of the sales prospect based on the Joe Hare book. So prospecting, this is very important. You have to find prospects and assess their fit with the Scouts fundraiser. Are they more likely to donate to this? Is this something they want to? And we taught this by telling them the name method. So the need, do they have a need or desire to donate and support disabled kids? Go to scout camp. Do they have the authority to make the decision? In most cases, yes. Unless you're reaching out to an organization, then you need to find the decision maker. The money, do they have the money to make a sizable donation? And eligibility to buy, because we were not allowed to specifically ask people who worked for WVU, WVU Foundation, or the Scouting America. And then we go to the pre-approach. So prepare and strategize before contacting the prospect to develop a tailored sales strategy, because you can't use the same strategy with every person. Everyone responds and reacts differently. People have different cues or things that they are more receptive to. So you have to do this by planning smart objectives for each and every prospect. So you have to have specific, measurable, achievable, relational, and temporal as well. And you can use this to track your progress as a whole, as well as just the pre-approach process. So you can measure your results, and if something isn't resonating with the prospect, then you can tweak these smart objectives so that you can continue to measure them and reevaluate it. So the approach: get the prospect's attention, establish rapport is very important, because if you come off as very personable and they like you, they're more likely to donate and support you indirectly by supporting the disabled kids going to scout camp. And you have to set clear goals for the meeting as well, so that the agenda is laid out and the person knows what they are getting into. That's very important so that you're on the same page. So for the presentation, you have to persuade the prospect by linking the scouting fundraiser to their needs, values, and priorities. If someone is a former scout, then that's probably what you're going to be highlighting in the presentation. Oh, you were a former scout. How did you like your experience there? What did you feel like you learned? Did it help with leadership? And you could tie it into there. So that's kind of highlighting the features, advantages, and benefits of this campaign. But for someone who's not a former scout, if maybe someone knows disabled people in their family or close friends, you can kind of highlight the benefit there. Listen, these people are in wheelchairs. They don't get to experience a lot of fun outdoors activities. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could provide this benefit to them? And then objection handling. This is also very important. You have to treat objections as requests for more information, because that's what they are. People ask to justify their decision, to justify if they are going to donate. So there are valid objections. So they just need more information there. Invalid or latent objections, they're kind of just brushing you off a little bit because they're not interested. So you have to find a counter that kind of hooks their interest again, or maybe find something that resonates with them because the other things haven't before. And there are various techniques for this. So we went over objection handling a lot, and we as sales managers guided them to use ChatGPT to identify potential objections. So you type in the details about the prospect based on their LinkedIn, job history, former scout, WVU alumni. If you find their Facebook page, do they have any disabled family or whatnot? And then you paste it to ChatGPT. You come up with your own objection responses that you think could be in play, and then you take notes of the ones that ChatGPT lists as well. So closing, this is getting and confirming the prospect's donation amount. So the trial close that attempts to test the readiness to buy throughout the process. So if you're starting the conversation in 5 minutes and the person's very enthusiastic, they're responding well, they are expressing a high interest in this fundraising campaign, then you can try and close a lot earlier. Because sometimes talking too much or too more will lead to you not getting the sale. A clarification close. So this is an example. So I just want to clarify that you said you'd like to donate $75 to help disabled scouts in the West Virginia, Pennsylvania area, or the straightforward close where you just ask, "Hey, are you interested in donating?" Right there. So there are various methods, and we taught all these methods as sales managers: the trial close, the clarification close, and the straightforward close. And the follow-up, so you have to maintain contact post-close to make sure that they're satisfied with their donation amount, because that's important for building a long-term mutually beneficial relationship. If someone does not feel like, if they don't feel good about their decision, probably not going to interact with you, and they're not going to help you or any fundraising campaigns that you're going to be involved in later down the line. So you have to send this in an email or a text message, however you met with them, and say, I appreciate our conversation, talk about what you actually talked about, and then mention the Scout project. Listen, thank you for donating. Did everything go well? Do you feel good about the decision? Or you can send them links to the update of the fundraising campaign and the videos and pictures that will come out of the Scouts having a great time at Scout Camp and making friends. So coaching and class concepts, performance evaluation, this is one of them. So setting SMART goals, as mentioned beforehand, so that performance can be consistently measured. This is important because you have to constantly adapt and evolve. And if you see that something's not working based on the initial goals and the measurables that you set out earlier in the process, then you need to change them because they're not the proper ones that you should have. So you have to be critical of yourself too. You can't be light, and I stress this as a manager. Listen, be hard on yourself so that you can better yourself and increase all of your chances of succeeding. And you can only do that by being critical of yourself. And as managers, I welcomed that sales members could talk to me if they wanted feedback on their SMART goals or any questions, concerns that they had, or things that they were struggling with, or if they wanted to just be evaluated as a whole. So time and territory management, this is understanding that you should focus more time on prospects that are more likely to donate higher amounts of money. That's pretty self-explanatory right there. You're put a lot more time into people that have a lot higher reward, and less time for people who probably aren't going to donate more than $50. So cross-referencing prospects with other team members was also something that we talked about. So we went over our prospect list, read off the names of our prospects, and if two members had the same person, then we would decide which one is going to keep that prospect based on if they relate to them more, based on their personal interests, work history, career goals, or whatnot, and then the other person would find a new prospect. So cold call training, so role plays were conducted through using ChatGPT for the entire sales process. I'll show a visual later on that, but essentially members are just going to input the information about their certain prospect that they're role playing for, and they're going to tell ChatGPT, okay, I'm in the pre-approach right now. This person works here and here. They were a former scout, WV alumni and whatnot, and ask, okay, how should I go about the pre-approach? What are some potential SMART goals that I could set for myself to evaluate this? Cold call training was done during the meeting times, and practice was also instructed outside of class time. I emphasize specifically tone and charisma because I think this is going to maximize your chance of being more personable, building rapport, and also being likable, and that's just going to lead to higher chances of them donating or supporting you outside of the fundraiser as a whole. So you have to be prepared for handling objections. This is super important because you have to resolve people's concerns, and if you don't resolve their concerns, then they're not going to donate and they're not going to feel comfortable to. So you have to do this to sometimes salvage a donation and just provide clarity to the person because they don't understand something. So what went well and what was the most challenging? It was very challenging to not be nervous when practicing a cold call, especially when we were having our meeting sessions and we'd do this live. We only did about one live, and then the others were instructed to be during outside of class time with ChatGPT. But none of us had really cold called before, so this was super nerve-wracking for us. But confidence is the main hammering point. Just practice it more and be confident in yourself, and you'll get the job done. In worst case, they'll say no in the real world, but that's okay. If someone bats 300, 3 for 10, they're really good, and that's really good in sales too. So what went well is understanding the details of the Scout project, coming into the cold call with confidence about getting a donation, and tailoring the presentation to people specifically. This went really well because as managers, we coach them up on this, as mentioned earlier on the other slide for the application of the sales process, tailoring the approach, using ChatGPT to help you as well come up with this, and then also using your own ideas. So the most significant challenges we faced are prospecting clients who had personal ties to the West Virginia and Pennsylvania area who were former scouts. This is very difficult to find. You can't just find this on LinkedIn. So another challenge is being comfortable handling and responding to objections. It's just uncomfortable because it's kind of like a no in its way, but we kind of train them that it's not a no, they just need more information. So these challenges were addressed. So the first challenge, it got addressed. I put a link for the Facebook page of the Rural Highlands Council, one of the areas that we're supporting, and for the Scouting America as well. While we're not reaching out to people that work there, if you go on the Facebook posts, you'll see people comment on them. So you could reach out to them on Facebook or cross-reference them and find them on LinkedIn too, and then they're a prospect right there, and then you know that they have the personal ties to the West Virginia, Pennsylvania area and are interested in helping out scouts. And we also address the second challenge by coaching them up with possible objections before they go into the cold call or the meeting, and guiding them to use ChatGPT to help them come up with a response or potential objections as well. So type in the prompt, ChatGPT, type the information of the prospect, all their background info, what are some potential objections, and then you also write them down, and then you come up with responses to those, and then you ask ChatGPT to, and the worst they could say is no, so that's how I motivated them, and that was the solution. So the use of tools. So for Zoom Info, we'd go to an organization, one in health or that has a lot of WV alumni working there. Then we cross-reference them on LinkedIn to determine if they're a qualified prospect. Zoom Info also improved our efficiency in finding contact information for prospects and being able to cross-reference their roles and job with LinkedIn. ChatGPT role plays led to us being pretty prepared for our meetings with prospects beforehand and being able to see ahead of time and see potential objections they may have and come up with responses to them so that we'd be prepared and wouldn't be frozen. And we could also understand the type of rapport that we could build with them. So with these graphics right here, ChatGPT right here, this is how I used it. Screenshot, you can pause it if you need. Input the information, ask ChatGPT. It's going to talk to you about it all, and then it'll ask you to start the role play, so then you can role play with there. That's how we instructed the team members to do it. And then for Zoom Info here, go to the content, or you type in the organization, click on contacts, contact information, phone number, and email. And you can also select by job title and role. So someone in a higher executive VP role is probably more likely to donate more money. So that's how we used Zoom Info. And then the last slide, personal reflection. So I learned that it is tough and challenging to lead others. It's not easy because some things that resonate with me and that strike a spot with me, it just doesn't for other people. We're all different people and we all have different leadership styles. So that's something I learned. This is a lot of responsibility and pressure to put the sales members to be in the best chance to succeed. That was very difficult, and I kind of felt a little stressed about it, but in the end, I just wanted to help them, and that was something that was challenging, but I'm glad I had this practice, and I liked this because it was challenging, but I was able to use this as like a trial run, and I could take notes about what I need to do better as a sales manager, and one of those is probably connecting with the team members more as people, seeing what they're interested in, building more rapport with them themselves would have been very important, and I think I could have clicked with them a lot more, I think. So I do wish there was more training and guidance about how to connect and have message land with others who you oversee. There wasn't as much coaching on this in the class, so I wish that was a thing. And then advice I have for future sales managers, spend time outside of work or class to learn about the team as people. Ask them directly if they're a driver, amiable, analytical, or expressive. Those are the leadership styles, like I mentioned earlier. And I feel like that would have been really important, and that's something I regret not doing. I feel like I could have been a heck of a lot better sales manager if I did end up doing that. So this is my presentation.